In this episode, I talk about what to do when you keep changing your mind about what you want to work on. Welcome to episode 171 of the Honest Entrepreneur Show, where I help creatives like you to master your marketing. My name's Tom Ross, and let's get into it. Guys, I've missed doing the show. When did we last record? 10 days ago. Yeah, I'm trying to record once a week, and if I go a little bit longer than that, I feel like I lose some of my flow, I lose the rhythm. So I'm looking forward to trying to commit to a more regular filming slot, even though I'm away next week. So we're filming in batch right now, but after that, I'm going to commit. And this is the same conversation I have with myself when it comes to the gym at points.
This question is from Samira. My style and creative interests change over time. Something I aspired to 4 years ago doesn't really appeal to me now. I'm afraid of my future because I sometimes feel that I can never have a stable interest or goal. What are your thoughts?
Hey Samira, this is a common problem. I see and hear this all the time. And there's two sides to the coin, as ever. So on one hand, I think what you're describing is actually very normal, very natural, and actually a good thing. Let me explain why. You don't want to become staid and stagnant. None of us ideally want to be in exactly the same place doing exactly the same thing forever. So it's good that you're mixing things up, you're pivoting, you're tasting, you're trying different things, and you're ultimately, hopefully, evolving and growing in the process. And I think this is great. And this is something I actively try and do all the time. I'm constantly adjusting. So what I'm doing right now, this whole show, like the podcast, the video show, the personal brand content, the newsletter, everything I'm building here, like all the connections I've made, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. I started this show 10 months, maybe 11 months ago. So this is all within a year, right? That's some pretty big fundamental changes. A year ago, I had never spoken. I'd never done a speaking gig. Now I've done my first one. And I've done various live ones, a bunch of podcast interviews, and I've got some speaking gigs lined up in November, and they're flying me out to Belfast. That's going to be great, right? I'm opening myself up. I'm pivoting and adjusting to stuff because I'm like, you know what? I want to try something new. I want to scratch that itch. And that's tremendous. That's a great thing. And that's something I'm going to continue forever. And I feel like if you look at how much I'm kind of packing into a year there, I think, where am I going to be in 10 years, 20 years? I've got no idea. It's going to continue to evolve, and I'm going to continue to roll with that. And so I think people demonize change, and they demonize that natural growth and evolution because they mischaracterize it as just being flighty. And so what I encourage you to do is, rather than necessarily going completely back to the drawing board, just adjust, but do it on a more frequent basis. So what I mean is, I think it's perhaps more damaging and more flighty if you do something for a year and then you think, you know what, I'm going to throw it all away and I'm going to start over in a completely different industry doing something not related at all. And then 6 months later, you throw it all away and you go and try something else. That's fine for a period. That's like when, as creatives, we're trying to define our style and discover our style. You need to try a few things to actually clue and hone into what you really like and what you're all about. That's okay. But if you do that forever, your inherent lack of commitment means you will never build anything of substance. On the other hand, if instead of completely pivoting and flipping it and trying something unrelated, you're making little adjustments. So it's like, okay, I've never done podcasting. I'm going to try a podcast. And then that opens up an opportunity over here, and I'm going to explore that. And then I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do a little bit less of this because I don't like it so much. And I'm probably going to cut this out, and I'm going to delegate that. And then I'm going to see this opportunity over there. That's a healthier way of doing this, I think, because that becomes a constantly shifting evolution where you just follow your heart. Essentially, you follow your heart and talent and opportunities and serendipity. And that's a great thing. I do know people who I see them doing something and I think, man, you'd really, if you stuck with that, you'd be really successful, I think. And essentially they just get bored and they throw it all away. And if their heart really isn't in it, that's fine. But as I say, if that's your default mode and you never commit to something, maybe there's something deeper going on. Maybe you're trying to do stuff for the wrong reasons. Maybe you're trying to please some other people in your life, or conform to their life script, or the life script of your friends, or whatever it might be. So I would really try and like have some introspection, figure out what you're all about, what you truly like, and then I would jump into that with your whole heart and I would adjust as you go. But yeah, that would be my advice. Question of the day: do you feel like you are currently doing what you were put on this earth to do, or some form of it, there or thereabouts? Or do you feel like you're doing something completely different and you want to make a change in your life and align yourself with something that you actually care about more? Let me know in the comments. We're going deep today. Hey YouTube person, this is definitely not staged at all. But if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel for more goodness like this. And if you did like this video, I hope that you enjoyed these ones too.